dancing on tables, Linda?
No, I was not dancing on tables, but I will say I did dance a little bit with the girls. I'm completely not cool. I don't know the music. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children. We've all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
We've all been through ups and downs that come along with life and have always helped each other through, shared stories, and laughed together.
We welcome all of you into our daily conversations and hope you have some fun with us.
So let's jump in. Hi, girls. Good to see you.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I want to tell you, I had an exciting weekend this weekend. My sons play lacrosse, and we're in the middle of lacrosse season. And we got the opportunity to go up to Syracuse University. My neighbor offered us, bought us tickets to go see the lacrosse tournament. They were playing Virginia because her son is on the lacrosse team. And so my middle son and I went up there for a couple days, and we got a college tour of the university, which I was very impressed by. And then on Saturday, we ended up going to the game, and I felt very cool because we were sitting in the parents section with them. And it was just so much fun to just watch these kids really up close and support them. And my son was in heaven. And then afterwards, we got to go to, they always have a dinner for the kids. We went to this restaurant bar, and we were able to go to that as well. And he got to meet all the lacrosse players. So he was just having the time
That
of his
sounds
life.
like so much fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Love that for you guys. It's awesome.
Yeah. But I had never been to Syracuse, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it was a good weekend.
I love
How
it.
about you, Linda?
So I was at Mom and Dad's last week for a few days, and then I went back to Ohio and saw D2, and that was really fun. We went out with her and her friends and experienced the big, huge bar DJ thing. So that was super fun. And then, we've been, Rich is back on the road. My husband's back on the road this week. So that's why I get to be in the kitchen today filming. This weekend, we have prom on Saturday. So that is still a work in progress. Will we have the post-prom party? We don't know. Where will the pictures be? We still don't know. Because nowadays it seems like all the girls are in charge. The boys aren't in charge. So they're figuring out the whole program still. So that's me. How about you, Nance?
Prom, that's so fun. Were you
Prom.
dancing on tables, Linda? Bringing back your youth?
No, I was not dancing on tables, but I will say I did dance a little bit with the girls, the friends, and the hubby. And I'm completely, not cool.
Was this bar?
I don't know the music. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
But was the bar located near the school, or was it?
Yeah. So the way this particular town is, it's like the campus. It's like in Iowa City where we went to school. It's like the campus, and then you can walk to downtown. So all the kiddos walk downtown. It's like a 2-block thing of restaurants and shops and bars, and it's really cute. So I think
really
this
fun.
used to be probably some sort of a factory, this place we went to, because everything was like cement and very practical for a
college towns are awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it sounds
It
fun.
was fun.
We had a good weekend. We had some soccer, and then we are fortunate enough to live close enough to the beach where we can drive and put our bikes on bike racks and get on the bike path and bike up the beach. So we did that, which was really nice. It was a gorgeous day, the day we did it, and my 9-year-old absolutely loved it. She biked over 11 miles and
Wow.
was happy to
Wow.
do it. Like she was just such a trooper and had such a ball. I mean, we broke it up like and got off
Yeah.
and explored and whatnot, but it was just a nice day, and it was nice
Family
to
bike
just
ride.
yeah, really
That's
really
a
neat.
Awesome.
that's a long way for her. That's great.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a cool thing growing up in the Midwest to be able. I'm like looking out in the ocean and I'm biking with my family, and I live out here,
Yeah, you're
which is
living the
kind of a nice
dream.
little perk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Um, but this morning has been kind of crazy. I feel like I look a little haggard as I woke up. I was ready to go get some coffee, and my cat Loki had left me piles of treats from her not feeling well, which is a terrible
Ew.
way to start the day. And
Yuck.
I realized that she slept in my son's room, so the door was closed. And so when she gets let out, she runs over to her food bowl and she gobbles up as much food as she can, like she's been starving and out in the cold. And then she throws it all up and she moves it all about. It's disgusting. So that is
That
how I
is
started my
disgusting.
day.
So this happens when every time she gets locked in a room.
Yeah, like if she feels like she's been stuck somewhere, but she's been sleeping, so it's not like she's been crying to get out of Riley's room, and but
Cats
she
need
just has
freedom. Cats need
panic. It's
freedom.
yeah, it's like she has this panic, like I didn't eat all night long. Oh,
Yeah.
blah, blah, I have
Yeah.
to like gobble it all up, and then
Yeah.
I can't handle it, and then it's like a dog, and she goes moves it all over about, and I'm just like, what is happening?
But does she
That is,
normally eat all day long?
She eats whenever she wants.
yeah, that's what our cat does. Like
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on demand. Like they can eat whenever they want. I
yeah.
actually, I'm in the kitchen right now filming, and I have the laundry room next to me, and I did have something going on, and so I closed the door, and the cat was like beside himself, like open the door. So he was like
Oh.
pawing at it, trying to open the door. So finally, I just
Oh.
had to turn off the dryer, leave the door open because he was acting like a crazy animal.
Hmm.
So
So anyway, so that is how I've started my day of like scrubbing floors. And then
That's
my crazy mind goes, I think that's what happened, but are you sick? Like is something else going? She's not sick. She's fine. She's laying about, purring, like clawing, jumping after things. Like she's fine.
yeah,
Just
that is kind of funny.
is it?
And
Is that funny?
and she was in Riley's room where she's not supposed to be, correct?
Correct. Correct. Because my
right.
son is allergic to cats. She's our COVID
Mhm.
cat, and we found out that he's allergic, but
Was she on his
Not
bed
great.
or did she stay
I don't
away?
know.
Kathy, her little antennas go up. What?
I
He's
don't know.
allergic, and the cat was in his room. What?
I don't know. I have no
I know. I'm
idea.
just thinking, like, do you have to wash everything? I'm just, ugh.
All right, y'all. So we have some friends that are going through some hard times that we've been talking about a little bit, and we're all going to get there. We all have our trials. Like sick, we have some friends that have some sick parents who've had some loss, and it's tricky. It's tricky to watch
It
your
is.
friends struggle with grief and sadness, and then honestly, we've all had to we've all had grief and had to kind of go through that. So I've been thinking a lot about self-care. How do you help friends with self-care? How do you show that you care and you're there for them? I thought maybe we could talk about that a little bit. How do you all show your friends support?
So I've had several people this year that have had some sadness in their lives due to like losing a father, losing a brother in law. My other friend has a medical problem that was serious. We've had a teenage death. I mean, we've had it all, I feel like, this year. Um, but like for my close friend who lost her father, I think I showed her support. I just talked to her every single day, actually a couple times a day, and would like, because she needed to vent, um, just about what was going on with her family, just how she was feeling. I guess I just was there for her, and I think I'm hoping that that helped her. Um, I think my friend that was going through a medical procedure, we all did a meal train, which I think her family felt comforted by.
Well, you had even your dog Maya. That was a surprise death for you, and I how did think that you felt comforted by your friend showing you kindness of just bringing you a meal that you didn't even know you
Yeah.
wanted, right?
Yeah. My dog passed away in February, which was like a surprise to us that she was actually had cancer. She was just very sick and we didn't know it. And my friends came together and they brought me dinner for the family and brought me a plant. My other friend brought me like a stained glass Labrador to like hang up in the kitchen window, which was very
Oh,
sweet.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
You know, I was so sad having them show me like that they cared about me. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but it did give me comfort, like that people
Yeah.
actually were thinking of me. And so it's like, you know, you don't want to be like, yeah, send me some things. It's not that. It's just, I think actually just being there for someone is huge.
Well, I'm letting you be in your grief, right? And not have to worry
Right.
about like that night you didn't have to worry about anything except being in your
Right.
grief with your family and knowing that everybody was getting a meal and things were taken care of and you could just be present with whatever that
Right.
was for you that evening. I think is quite a gift to give somebody.
Mhm.
Right. I think because she brought me some food and gave me a hug, and it was just nice. And my other
Yeah.
friend, do you know, it's not like she spent a lot of money, but she came over and brought Kleenex and gave me a hug. I mean, I just thought that was the nicest thing. Her
Yeah.
just being there to say, "Hey, I know this really stinks," you know.
Well, I think
Um,
that's the whole topic today is how do you comfort people who are going through a hard time? And the hard time can be on a spectrum of things. It can be as bad as death or severe illness to even just like hard time at jobs
Yeah.
or your kids are
right,
driving you crazy. They're doing something
Yeah.
naughty and you're like, what the heck? Or, you know, it's just everything. There's a whole spectrum of things that happen, during life that kind of throws for a loop, at one time or another. And so, what does that look like? And, like I know I have a couple of friends right now that are going through rough times, but they're not near me. They're physically not near me. So, that adds a whole other element of how do you support them and let them know that you care and love about, care for them, but you're far away. So, a couple of things that I do that I do think helps them is sending a text every day. Like, I'm thinking about you, or a GIF, like a little flower arrangement that has this like automated thing or whatever. And just letting them know every day or every other day that I am thinking about them and I am keeping them in my prayers and I love them. And, you know, And then, I've had people locally who have gone through rough times, and sometimes I drop off banana bread, which is something that our family loves. So, and it's high in calories and it's sort of like comforting. And it's one of those things that maybe
Yeah.
you wouldn't eat regularly, but it's a treat.
hmm
So when you're under duress, I think, your body kind of eats away at itself and it's hard to just bake yourself or get those nutrients in you.
Right.
So I'll drop off banana bread. So we'll put that recipe at the end of the podcast. And then if I know they're going to be sitting at a hospital, I do like a little care package where I'll do a little bag of chapstick and sanitizer and activity books and candy and gum and mints so
Yeah.
that the people that are sitting with the people in the hospital can be nourished a little bit, but then
Yeah.
also like those little aquaphor tubes to help with the
Mm-hmm.
dry mouth that always happens in the hospital because it's so dry in there, and little activity books, I think, people appreciate. And I
Yeah.
think, what we all don't realize is we all get our turn for having rough times. Like I know I've
Mm-hmm.
had them. I know each of us have had them for one thing or another. And, it's nice to have like a little something in your arsenal for when those times happen. I did the classic mistake just the other day with somebody. I called them and I asked, "What can I do for you?" And I feel like that's a mistake because when somebody's going through it, like Kathy was just saying, you don't always know what you need. You don't know
Right.
what you want, and you don't want to be imposing. So,
Right.
Right.
really, what I should have said was, I'm thinking about you. You're in my heart, and I'm dropping something off at your house. You don't have to be there. It will be there for you when you get home, and just look for it. And
Right.
that's
Well, I think
Yeah.
I've always, I always am trying to think of other people, and I've always been like, if there's been, a circumstance where there is grief, I've reached out, like you said, but I've made that mistake. Like, we're here for you. Please let me know if I can do anything. But, again, they always say we're fine. So that is mistakes I've made a lot too. Like,
But I
And
think we're
it's so
all
hard to break
guilty.
that habit for some reason because you want to be like, I don't
yeah,
want to tell you what you need, so I'm going to ask you. But really, it's just the thought of, I'm just going to drop banana bread off, and they don't even have to know what it is, and they don't have to,
right.
whatever, or I'm going to drop a plant, or I'm going to drop a gift card, or
But
whatever.
I
It's
do get
hard
that
to,
impulse. I do get that impulse to say I don't need anything because you don't want to be imposing. And
right.
I was thinking about myself. I really struggle with such a believer in asking for help or leaning on your friends or using your village. And I do believe in that, but I struggle with I want to be helpful, but I struggle sometimes identifying, you know what? I need the help this time and I have to ask for it and I expect my village to ask for it, so I have to do the same. And this past, you know, fall, I needed my village because I was down for a little while because I had a medical issue, which I'm fine now, but it
Yeah.
was not, I was lucky and I was able to recover, but it took a lot out of me. It took more out of me than I thought that it was going to for whatever reason. Things just didn't go how I thought or what whatever the reason was. And I realized it was so nice to have those text messages just checking in. How are you? I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
Are you okay? What can I do? I'm getting your daughter for a play date. I have dinner for you. All those little things. You think it's not a big deal, but it really is. Like for me, it was huge. Like, and I didn't
It
even
does. It fills your
realize how,
heart. Yeah.
yeah,
It
I
helps you
didn't even,
heal. It does. I agree. Yeah.
yeah. So I just try to think of that like moving forward, like, and remember that people are have a hard time asking for it, but just do it anyway. Like, and you can do it anonymously, just as you said, Linda, of just, I'm dropping something off or I'm just sending a text. You do not have to call me
Yeah.
back. You do not have to answer, but I'm just thinking of you. So I
Right.
think those, just something that I think we've been talking a lot about because we've been kind of using those ideas really the
Well, I
last,
think,
Yeah. We have been bouncing ideas off of each other
yeah,
because we have mutual friends,
yeah.
and then we also have other friends. But, it's just the time of life. I don't know. We're at that certain age where stuff happens more and people are down a little bit more. So it's just, I think maybe at the end of our podcast, we'll we'll give a little list of ideas that we've used that have been helpful and um,
And then
meaningful
on
for
the
people.
And then on the flip side of that, like thinking about like self-care, like we're quick to help other people, we're quick to help our families. Like I think we're very involved in our families and making sure we're doing all this stuff for other people, but also making sure that we are putting the oxygen mask on ourselves first and doing self-care, like, getting exercise for ourselves, eating well, making sure that we're processing how we're doing. How do you guys show yourself self-care? Like for me, I like to get a pedicure every now and then, or I just like to go on a long walk, or silly things like, now I'm getting older and I don't want to be gray. So going and having somebody color my hair for,
Yeah.
like, that's
All
important
the
for me.
things. Yep. All
So
the
what,
things.
so how do you show yourself like self-care and self-love and making sure you're filling up your tank so you can continue to give it to other people is super important too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I do all of those things. Sometimes
Yeah.
I do them better than others, but try to get enough sleep, try to eat right, try to get the exercise, 5 days a week if possible. Get outside, get that fresh air. I mean, now it's a little easier because it's spring and it's beautiful here. So I'm going to be in the yard today and get all that vitamin D
Yeah. I think I do all those things too. I think
and play golf, Kathy.
my favorite thing is to do just like, well, exercise for me is huge. I always feel better when I exercise.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't want to do it. So making myself actually do it, then I'm like, you're taking care of yourself. So go do it. Like I have to kind of
Yeah.
talk myself into it. And then,
Yeah.
but it's good. And then maybe taking a nap, sometimes if I feel,
You,
just
you
worn
have
down.
always loved to nap. Yeah.
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 I actually love a nap too. I never really get it,
Well,
but when I
I mean,
do, I love it.
well, now my kids are like at the age now that I can get away with a nap. Like before I couldn't, or
Yeah.
it would always be interrupted. So now I
Yeah.
can. But and I do like you doing yard work too. Well, I like planting stuff. I should say that. I don't
I
like
like
weeding.
it when it's done and I can
Yes.
look
Yeah.
back at my work because it's very
Yes.
satisfying, but I don't
Yeah.
love doing it when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I do
So,
get satisfaction out of it.
girls, talking about like taking care of ourselves and self-care, whatever, it got me thinking about like comfort food. So what's for dinner tonight? So for me, for dinner is I like a good roast chicken with roasted potatoes
Oh,
and
yeah.
carrots. So that's what I'm making for dinner. Very comforting, very healthy. My people
Mhm.
my family loves it and gobbles it up. So that's what's
I
for
love a
dinner over
roast
here.
chicken.
What
I
about
love
you
it.
guys?
Well, I'm doing grilled chicken sandwiches tonight. I've been marinating these chicken breasts for a couple of days, like a day and a half. So I think that's the sweet spot. Um, we'll put the recipes at the end of the podcast. You can have them, but we're doing that and a side salad. Yeah.
That sounds
Grilled
good. What
chicken
about you, Kath?
sandwiches.
I am going to make lasagna.
Ooh, her
So
famous lasagna.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's very time consuming to make lasagna. This recipe that I have that I actually got from a friend when I lived in St. Louis. But I altered it like a little bit, but it's so good. But I actually did make lasagna for a friend like several years ago. Her husband died. It was like
Mm,
unexpected. So I made them a couple of pans just for the whole family. And I think that they were very, grateful for that. And it is comforting
it
food.
is.
I don't know why. Like it's just warm and hearty, I guess.
It's
So,
satisfying. It satiates you on a lot
Yeah.
of levels. I think lasagna
yeah,
is a great thing to take people and you can even like partition out servings and put them in the freezer and pull them out when you
yeah, you
need
can
Yeah.
them
freeze
and
it
all
for
that
sure.
stuff, which is
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I did want to say one more thing about uh, the teenager and grief because we did have something that happened this year, and I was a little bit concerned about my youngest child. And I didn't like per se like be sending him texts all the time and checking in with him like I was like my friend that I was talking about earlier. But I think with him, because he's a teenager, they're very like closed off about emotions and
Yeah.
I'm fine. like, whenever you ask them how you're doing, that's always what, the response you get. But I just was there for him. I would always go check in with him in his room, lay down on his bed while he was sitting there studying or whatever, and just be like, if you want to talk, I'm sitting here,
Taking up space with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Super meaningful.
It's
Yeah.
very
So,
important.
I don't know. For him, it seemed to be enough. So I just tried to be there.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Seems-
think
And
that's
you also did talk about, Nancy, that you were going to maybe send a care package to your friend.
yeah. So I have a friend who she's in it. She's going through a hard time. There's no doubt about it. And I have a lot going on here, and I had envisioned going to visit, but I feel like I can't do it right now. I feel like I can't
Yeah.
like fly there, which in normal circumstances I would go, but I just feel like I can't right now. So I was thinking, well, what can I do instead? Like we do talk a lot, and send text messages, and I do all the things, but I was like, well, maybe something I could do is just to send her a little care package of like put in sprinkle in some things, that not a lot of, just like something I thought that she might enjoy, and just enjoy opening a box that has nothing to do with anything heavy. And I always like getting a little something in the mail that I'm not expecting, and just sprinkle it with some things of some self-care things that
A
I
little
think that she
joy.
might like.
Yeah.
A little
I like
joy.
that
Like
idea.
Yeah.
maybe it'll bring her a smile on her face, and it will just
Because I
let
think
her.
that is a good point you bring up. It's like, 'cause sometimes when you are going through a tough time, you don't want to talk about the tough time. You want to go out and have fun. You want to go and like have dinner and not talk
Right.
about the heavy thing that's happening in your life, or
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
want to go see a movie, or you just want to sit with somebody and just not talk,
Yeah.
but know that someone's there for you. And I do
Yeah.
think that is also another element of support that is super practical and meaningful to people. You don't always want to talk the heavy stuff. You want to just like live your
No.
life,
100%.
because it weighs on you all the time. Yeah. Love
Yeah.
that.
And
Well, I
honestly,
know your
sometimes
friend will appreciate it.
you're just in it, and it won't change. It's not going to change the outcome,
No.
and that's okay, but you have to still find a little bit of joy, a little bit of light in where you can find it, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, so this was a
Exactly.
tough topic day for us, but it is something that's in our hearts. I know all of us, all of the sisters, the fishes, we're all having, experience with this. So it's very much in our front of mind and in our heart. And we thought we would share with our listeners just some ideas about getting through these rough times, because we
Yeah.
all experience them at one point or another.
Yes. Use your
Right.
village. Find your
Use your
village.
Yes.
village for
Yes.
sure. Yes.
Just being there matters. So, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Tune in for our next episode. Sisters out.